really barked up on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna be making my first ever brisket on the pellet grill today. Gonna be basing this on mostly Chud's barbecue and a little bit of meat church. So hope this turns out good. We're gonna throw this in the freezer for an hour, then we're gonna trim it up. All right, we're gonna be working on that meat side first and get it out of the package across next. So just gonna clean up all the loose hard fat on top of that meat side to start trimming it up. We're gonna get that decal out of there. Don't gouge it, just make it smooth. Start trimming up a lot of that oxidized meat on the sides. We're gonna start shaping up this brisket, make it nice and aerodynamic for the smoke. Don't forget those knife edges. We're just gonna keep trimming her up. Then we're gonna go flip around to the fat side. Gotta remove that big mohawk off there, so it's just gonna burn up in the cook. Learned this little one from Chud's barbecue. Go check out his brisket trim videos. That's basically how I learned it, just from watching all his videos. We're gonna start trimming it down to a 1/4 inch of fat, nice and crispy. Just don't scalp it, like right there. But one or two scalps ain't gonna ruin the cook, but it's just not gonna look pretty. We're gonna keep shaping that up. So any of that loose hanging meat, just trim it off, just like on the very end right here. Just take it clean off. It's gonna burn up in the cook. I was pretty aggressive on this trim, but being my first one, I wanted to do it right. So nice and pretty. All right, let's go ahead and season up our brisket. Worcestershire sauce as a binder. Then we're gonna use 16 mesh black pepper, holy cow, and holy gospel. Heavy layer 16 mesh black pepper, fine layer holy cow, and a little bit of holy gospel. And then we're gonna pack it in, throw it on a cooling rack, let it rest for 12 hours, and start to cook later that day. All right, 5.8 pounds of fat, 1.8 pounds of lean meat. Gonna be turned into burgers and smoked tallow. So first stage, 200 degrees for 7 to 8 hours to build that smoke flavor. Supplementing with 2 smoke tubes with gourmet blend Bear Mountains. We're gonna build smoke flavor in that bark. This is 8 hours in. The bark is not quite set, so we're gonna increase to 225 for another couple hours. Drain off that rendered tallow. This smells amazing. This is about 11 hours in. Bark is pretty well set, not coming off anymore. We're gonna throw it on just a bit more at 250 for about an hour. Render out some more fat, finish out that bark. It is pretty much set and getting pretty wet, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it in butcher paper. Look at that beautiful bark. That meat church rub does some wonders. Spray some apple cider vinegar to make that paper more pliable. Fold it tightly, wrap it up. We're gonna throw it back on the smoker for about 3 more hours. This is just gonna break through that stall, but I had to increase the temp to 300. It stalled at 189 for like an hour. It finally got to 203, 205. Passed the probe test. Gonna put some smoked tallow on the wrap, just for the 3-4 hour rest time, and then it was food time. Add some jiggle to it. Gonna pour some extra drippings on it, pat it in, make the slicing a little pretty. Just look at that beautiful bark on it. Let's go ahead and cut her up, see how she is. Gotta give it that squeeze. This is beautiful bark and the color. Snaps easily, didn't want to ruin the presentation piece. I had 12 people to feed, so I didn't want to give someone a half torn up piece. But beautiful smoke ring, cut like butter through it all. That bark is delicious. So a lot of happy customers. Super impressed with this first pellet grill smoke. We're gonna go cut that point out. Super fatty. This is a prime grade, so it's got a nice bit of intramuscular fat. So we're gonna go ahead and take out a bite of that burnt end. Super pleased with this first cook. Thanks for coming along.